she was before the years flew by, and how she was when she was beautiful. She sang the letter I, babushka, 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 yeah. I, babushka, 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 yeah.
Howdy, everybody.
What's good, y'all?
Welcome back.
Good to be back.
Oh my God, and I am happy to be here. Welcome to the No Room for Improvement podcast. I'm Stark.
I'm Darnell.
And welcome back. So, we just wanted to chat about
Some things,
chat about some things. And we want to start off by addressing something major, actually.
All right.
Black Panther 2 has basically been leaked within the last month.
Uh-oh. Here come the leaks, y'all.
Here come the leaks.
Spoilers if you care about leaks or whatever. Sometimes they're accurate, sometimes they're not.
Yeah, no.
It depends on,
I genuinely understand if you do not. So spoiler warning now. We will put a time code in the description for if you would like to skip it. But now, 3, 2, 1. Basically, Shuri is going to be Black Panther. I think every human under the sun has been assuming this since essentially he's passed.
Yeah.
Since the unfortunate passing of Chadwick Boseman.
That was really sad. I remember that night. I was like in literal shock for at least 5 minutes.
Oh, no, so was I. I was sitting on the couch, and I was downstairs, and I was like, oh, wow, this is real. This isn't like a joke. And I was kind of freaked out. I was like, why is life so just existing and happening and ending?
It came out of nowhere because he didn't tell I don't think really anybody.
Which
knew.
I mean, I understand,
yeah.
And your privacy does matter. However, it was sad and very disheartening. But I really am excited about this film because also
I'm excited to see what they do for it.
What is the actor's name? Who's in Us? Who's also in?
Oh, that's Winston Duke.
Yeah, Winston Duke is M'Baku is going to be the new king of Wakanda, which
nice.
I like that. I like that a lot, and I also think that
he was always been like a favorite, even from the first one.
I think
his introduction is like
he's intriguing
fire.
In the first one. He has character and a performance, and with all due respect to Chadwick Boseman, I feel like Winston Duke has so much more emotion in the little bit of role that he has in comparison to Chadwick Boseman.
I mean, he's a really charismatic person just naturally, though.
That's what I'm saying. And I think that Chadwick Boseman, if you give him the right script, is extremely charismatic. But I feel like with Marvel films, there was a certain level. Like, there's a different energy in like a...
I think he was going for more of a stoic king type thing.
Yeah, I know. Like, it was the stoic nature, though, just wasn't... I didn't think it exactly worked. But... I think that if they're going to honor him and things really work, it's going to be really fun. Like, I think this is going to be a good movie. But
thank God they didn't go back and CGI him.
We don't know that yet, and let's just hope they don't.
Disney,
I'm not.
Please.
Yeah, please don't. Please, guys. Like, please don't. Just put him in the Marvel title at the end. That's all. However, we're going to get Namor, and the images have been leaked.
Namor the Submariner.
I'm so excited. I am. I'm genuinely excited. I think he's going to be Mayan or like Aztec.
I saw the designs. It kind of looks that way, but like the face jewelry and all that stuff.
Which I might complain about the forced diversity and forced things within Marvel, but I do really appreciate the fact that they are doing... not exactly a push, but like a different foreign kingdom.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like a foreign land to Wakanda.
So, you think we're going to see a lot of Atlantis, or is it just going to be
I think that would be fucking awesome if we got, if it opens with Atlantis, which I'm kind of hoping it does, it's going to be pretty good, but what would you like to see in this movie?
I know they have fought previously in the comics before. I don't really know much about it, but maybe sort of like a thing where they kind of have a misunderstanding about the kingdoms, where they stand or whatever, so they're trying to figure that out. And then what are they saying the big bad is going to be in this movie?
Well, so Namor is the main villain, I'm assuming, for a period of time, but the main elephant in the room of all of this is that Doctor Doom is maybe premiering in Black Panther 2. So
people will shit their pants.
Javier Bardem is supposedly in the running right now, talking.
And
right
I love
now.
that.
I do really enjoy that. I think that that's a great choice, especially after the mishap, personally to me, of John Krasinski, who I didn't think was the greatest choice for Mr. Fantastic. And ironically, I think that Daniel Craig and Javier Bardem would have been really funny.
I've never had like any like negative opinion towards like the John Krasinski casting. I thought like I really didn't mind it that much. Maybe they can find someone better, but in Doctor Strange, it was kind of like odd to see.
Seeing it in exactly, I was excited by it. I was actually like, oh my god, that'll be cool. But what he actually did, I was like, that's not that good. I'm so happy he wasn't Captain America. Like, I'm genuinely so happy he is not Captain America.
Was he one of the run-ins?
He was like he was like the other guy that was almost Captain America.
Whoa.
So I think it's something, but I'm excited. I think that there are a lot of good possibilities, but as you can hear in both of us, it's a lot of hope, and hope. And to cut into our first topic, it is time to talk about...
We need hope in these days and times.
We do. We need to talk about the hope absorber and destroyer known as Thor, Love, and Thunder.
Y'all know I'm a Thor fan. I've been a Thor fan since day one, and I was really looking forward to this because like the first teaser was like tremendous to me, at least. And then I watched it, and I was like, oh, they fumbled the bag a little bit. Like, I liked it for what it was, but it just... The potential was just unsurmountable.
So let's start off with pros and cons. So I'm going to be honest with you. So the beginning, also once more, if you have not seen Thor, I'll give you the brief rundown, just quickened review for you if you'd like to skip through this. But Thor is a very mediocre film. I think sometimes beyond mediocre, feeling more like a child-friendly, safe PG film.
Child.
Like, it feels
child.
like a PG film. It is a lot of jokes. It is like Return of the Jedi, but like on steroids.
It's honestly like Batman and Robin.
It's like Batman and Robin. It's a lot of things you do not enjoy. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. If you don't like a lot of like the negative media out there, like I'll say prequel Star Wars, I'll say it's like the Lego movie at points. Like there's some really cheesy parts. But to get into spoilers, yeah, so the intro was fine. I enjoyed the intro.
Mm-hmm.
I genuinely thought that Christian Bale was going to be a fantastic choice, judging by his intro.
That was a great introduction to the character in general.
Absolutely incredible. Burying his daughter, you see the pain, you see everything there. But then we immediately meet our first god, who, the name I forget. Do you remember it all?
No.
So the first god, who looks like something out of Monty Python, immediately threw me off. It threw me off.
The CGI looked kind of wonky, and he had like a weird halo glow, but it didn't even look like his body was on his head. It was like kind of like moving around and shit.
It was kind of like if you've all ever overly stared at Robert Downey Jr.'s head in the most of the latter half of his Marvel films, where he looks like his head's like a fucking bobblehead. It's very similar to that. Sometimes in Infinity War, it even looks like that. When he looks annoyed after something Star-Lord said, I'm like, oh wow, that's bad. That's really, they add way too much shadow. But we'll get to, I don't want to be too mean because we'll get to that real fast in a minute. But the movie is like a cacophony of just wild CGI that ranges from spectacular to not. The story ranges from very serious to not serious at all. And by not serious at all, the entire movie, with the exception of like 10%.
And the thing was, there's a story there, but the way they went about it, it was just an excuse to get the location to location. It wasn't really like a set forth, like I've heard a lot of people say it had mistakes, which I was like, yeah.
It didn't feel weighty at all. There was nothing. You kind of were like, why am I seeing this movie? He could have like flipped pancakes in this entire movie and it been the exact same. It's just boring bullshit.
People call it a romantic comedy. I don't even put in that type of thing because
it had one scene of that and it didn't even feel particularly that great. I was cringing when they were doing the relationship stuff. I was like, this is real, but it's really cringy to do with a superhero and then with a hammer. I was like, this isn't for me. So I wasn't personally a fan. Also, the elephant in the room of CGI artists essentially being abused by Marvel.
Yeah, that news came out recently, y'all. There's been some reports, and there's like article that came out saying that VFX workers under Marvel are having a tough go at it.
So, I want to be honest with you. I think that Marvel, the machine, is too much at this point.
They need to slow down.
This
Take more time with each project.
really proven it. Like, No Way Home just gets by for me at points. The CG in that movie is not good.
That whole first introduction, like Willem Dafoe, like when he's like has like the helmet off and he's in the alley,
and the fact that it's CG.
That whole scene looks weird.
The glider's not even the same glider for Mode 2, and I consistently am bothered by that. Because that legitimately doesn't make sense. It can't be different. Like, it cannot be different at all.
Different?
It's actually different. It's completely very different. It's not the same thing. And for some reason, they couldn't do it practical. Because...
I think you can do a lot of shit practical. Let's not make that excuse.
No, and it's odd that for some reason, like, I give all the props to VFX artists.
Yeah.
But I think that with Thor: Love and Thunder... You could have done a lot of things practical, and it would have been way more fun. Do a soundstage, but instead of doing, like, the most grand land for Zeus, give me, like, one giant room. I'm okay with that. I'm very okay with a smaller set piece. And also Zeus.
I thought he was going to be a lot better than that.
Zeus, everybody, is supposed to be Greek, but sounds like the most generic Italian...
The most awful Italian accent you've ever heard in your life.
Stereotypical accent you will ever hear. Yeah, they talk about orgies a lot. In this
For a kid's movie.
This PG movie where Heimdall's son looks like Zordon from Power Rangers, like
He's
the
like
original.
Little cousin to just be like hopping on your aunt's like FaceTime videos. It's like, hey. I'm like, oh, hi.
He really is. Like, it's like the one kid that's like, hey, you got games on your phone?
Pretty much.
But it just, like, not to rag on the kid. Kid was actually a fine actor. It's just that...
The way they just shoehorned this character in. I'm like, did y'all just really just shoehorn this character?
It really does just feel like Zordon from fucking Power Rangers to me, that it's just like a floating head. But not even the ending really could save it. Like, the ending, so to take it back to the beginning, Jane Foster has cancer. I feel like every human knew this once they announced Mighty Thor was a thing. Enjoy that 5-minute scene.
Yeah, and then like one scene later on down the road where she like acts sick for like 2 seconds.
So imagine you read a book and you pick up Mjolnir. Okay, all right. So I wasn't the biggest fan of this movie. So it's a mixture of my pros and cons. But I think that this movie was very similar to what I'm thinking with Black Panther, where it's hope. And Darnell, I think you and I were thinking way bigger and way more hopeful. And
yeah.
What was that main thing we were both missing, Darnell?
I don't know. What was his name? Fucking Beta Ray Bill Taika. You're the one that introduced him to this universe, and you don't fucking follow up on it. You just...
So, yeah, Beta Ray Bill, for everybody who probably knows of him and doesn't, he's like a horse-faced man. He's orange. He becomes Thor for a period of time, alongside with Thunderstrike.
He's the original owner of, like, Stormbreaker, like, in the comics.
Yeah, like, it's some cool shit. So, instead of just giving us Beta Ray Bill and making it a Thor's movie, I understand that maybe they didn't want to do a generic, oh my god, we just did Spider-Man, now we have to do 3 Thors.
But it's different.
It would have been very different because that's not a multiverse, and that's like an actual planet, and other people have been Thor, and there's many things that you could really dive into.
If you could give the power of Thor to kids.
Yeah, then you could get... So the better idea would have been, personally, is that Thor goes to Earth instead of fucking Kat Dennings. And so Kat Dennings visits Jane Foster. It should have been Thor. Should have been Thor and Dr. Selvig being like, oh my god, holy shit. It would have been serious. And then he's like, well, let me show you like a great final few days. Instead of it being like a little bit of time, like an amount of time, it should have been like 4 days. It should have been like, you have a week to live. Something like that. Like something, more fatal or finite.
And Taika, why did I say Taika? Taika does a really good job at blending like very silly humor and like really serious fucking shit. Like,
Jojo Rabbit proves that.
Yeah, you seen Jojo Rabbit?
I've seen a multitude of parts of that.
Like
film.
Jesus Christ, you can go from the Hail Hitler scene where everybody's going there, which is hilarious to me. Everybody's just like, oh, hey, hit them.
as many times as they possibly can, just to talk about the overreactive satirist, just people that were Nazis.
And then they can go from that to the fucking shoe scene.
I love that. So I was thinking the exact two scenes.
Yeah, I'm just like,
yeah. So Taika knows how to blend tones. He's not dissimilar to my favorite director, Sam Raimi, in some efforts, or like a Peter Jackson, where he can blend those two things. But the thing that I believe is that maybe the MCU may or may not be pushing things, but then when you read who wrote it, no, it's not. It's like Christian Bale, Taika Waititi, Chris Hemsworth. Like, it's not real. Mm-mm. So after a certain point, I'm really thinking that this movie was just like the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull of the franchise.
I just don't know where they're trying to go. Like, you wanted to push more into the silly, but even the serious aspects in Ragnarok made it work. But the silly was just like a little extra, like,
you
cherry
need
on top.
good characters,
Yeah.
and Bruce Banner was a good character. Valkyrie was a great character. Loki
Wasted in this one.
But the thing is Valkyrie, Tessa Thompson deserves a raise. Mm-hmm. Tessa Thompson deserves more money than anybody else in this movie, because Tessa Thompson acted her fucking ass off, and it was incredible. She was absolutely great in this film. She honestly outshines a multitude of everybody else.
One of the best modern actors of our time.
Yeah, like, she's spectacular. She has a really good range. But she's completely wasted in this film. And after a while, she is overtaken by Korg basically being C-3PO in Return of the Jedi, in 2013 Vine Screaming Goats. Yeah, those are our replacement for actual personalities in this fucking film.
Yeah, but I feel like they could have done a lot more in terms of that aspect, because it just feel like they didn't care about any of the characters. Like, Sif was in there for like 2 seconds.
She loses an arm, by the way. That's it. She doesn't get a metal one. She doesn't like even nothing.
Nothing.
No, nothing. Also, Thor doesn't lose any limbs, but so that was Thor.
Yeah.
Thor was. There were parts of it that felt, once again, more Masters of the Universe, which I feel like I'm sick of this comparison at this point.
You know what I'm sick of hearing? There was a 4, there's a 6, there's a 10, there was a 24-hour cut to this movie. They'll never see the light of day. Yeah,
I am so sick of hearing
We shot
that.
so much footage. I just don't know what happened to the movie. Like,
people shouldn't have that much money. Is it bad to say?
It's just a waste.
No, so like, I don't think that movie should be $200 million anymore if you have that much of a movie. Do you know how many hour cuts there were in the 80s of things?
Yeah.
4 max, usually. Like, if you really, really were going crazy, it was 4 max.
I don't know what y'all planning on shooting. Like, it was like, shoot all these scenes, and all of a sudden people just say, nah, that whole scene doesn't work. Let's take it out.
Like, what the fuck is going on? And then you repurpose it and put it in other movies. Like a hodgepodge. So I don't exactly, I don't enjoy that, but
I want to know what Christian Bale shot that he thinks is so
spectacular.
Yeah.
Christian Bale is an artist, and I love Christian Bale. He's one of my favorite actors ever, but after a certain point, he's become that very artsy person, but now he's just like a dad in a Marvel movie, which is very odd and doesn't work with anything. But, so, Thor, Darnell, if you agree, is not funny, not scary, and not exactly the best with action. And now on the flip side of this coin, that also came out the exact same day, we have something that is kind of funny. We have something that's really good as a horror film or as a show, and has spectacular characters and stakes at points.
Ladies and gentlemen, Stranger Things.
Stranger motherfucking Things. So, Stranger Things Season 4.
Let's break it down.
So, the first half of the season, I think we've had vague talks about, but I can sum it up by saying it is...
Let's go back. What's your favorite season so far? Because we watched all 4.
This is the best season. 4 is the best season next to 1. 2 and 3 I could honestly go without at this point.
See, I really love 3, though.
So, nothing happens in 3 personally for me. What do you like about 3? Like, what do you love about 3?
I just love, like, the whole, like, vibe of it. I like the whole shopping mall thing, and like the Russians. I thought it was like a cool intro. It was like, yeah, it's like 80s stuff, but it kind of made sense in the time. I don't know. Like I'm not even like a stickler for 80s shit, but that is like one of my favorite things. Like the whole mall scene, the Maya Hawk being introduced. I love her character.
Maya
So she
Hawk was
introduced.
really good. I do genuinely enjoy every episode or every moment she is in. I think
Plus the whole Billy thing, like Max's brother, I thought was like
season 1 is still my favorite. I think that season 1
It's
could have been a
classic.
self-contained, its own thing.
Hmm.
Season 2 is weird. Season 2, looking back, is kind of awkward and maybe not necessary, but like it's a good season. I personally like it. I like the ending a lot too. Season 3, in hindsight now, I fucking hate it. I'm gonna be honest with you, because it ends. It has an end game ending.
oh, where everybody just like splits up and shit.
And there's like 3 fucking endings, and then Hopper's alive. Why did Hopper stay alive? Hopper should have died. That should have never been a thing.
Who knows?
Personally, Hopper should have never came back. There was a Russian base there. Have him take a child. Have something. Many things.
Mhm.
But like, I don't think Hopper should be alive anymore. I kind of think that Joyce, I hate to say this, but I think Joyce needs to suffer at all times. Joyce in this show, no, I feel like you need to understand what I mean. Joyce is our primary character of this show. She's
An
the
OG.
main character.
Yeah.
And as much as these fucking kids are, no, they're not. To be very realistic, Joyce is like the main character of this show. She's seen the most. She's suffered the most. She's done the most.
I don't really consider her a main character, honestly.
Oh, you don't, because a bunch of children are now like the front of the poster.
Mhm.
And if you haven't seen the meme about how each poster, her head gets tinier and tinier, like it's not a joke, but the real shit is each season she has suffered the most. Her son, almost died. Then her son, almost died. And then the man she loved died.
Mhm.
And then the other man she loved almost died and should have died. That's just suffering. That's who she should be. And then her son should actually die now.
Mm.
So that's just my personal take.
A lot of death over here.
Yeah, no, but I just think that there needs characters that have a suffering, have a suffer. But
Mhm.
I understand the mall aspect of season 3 is spectacular. I think the acting's really fucking bad in it though. When she said "I dump your ass," I'm not
Oh
gonna
yeah,
lie.
yeah, that was cringe.
I remember the
That was
cringe I
cringe.
felt. Right, kinda cringe.
I dump your ass.
I remember eating a peach as soon as I was watching that, and I was like, "Oh my god!" I got secondhand chills. I was like, "Fuck." That was awful. It's like doing a bump of coke.
One thing I'll say about all the seasons, the setup to each season is just tremendous. They do a really good job at building like the story, making it like mysterious, like what is really going on. Be enjoying the creepy shit. I think definitely the beginning of this season is one of like the strongest like beginnings they had.
I agree, because I'm not going to lie to you. When it started, I kind of hated it.
Hmm.
The first half until What's-Her-Face died. Chelsea?
The cheerleader.
Yeah. Whenever she died, I was like, all right, this is getting warm.
Mm-hmm.
But the first part, I was like, this is a lot of explaining to do. And I
They did
understood.
cover some.
They had to cover a lot of
Yeah.
supposedly only 4-year ground.
These damn kids.
It's fucking adults. Fucking Will has the same haircut.
Oh, that poor boy.
Will's gonna die. I just... But, okay, first half of the season. One of my favorite series of television I've seen in a long time. Second half of the season, extremely mediocre. Extremely fucking
A
mediocre.
lot of hype, and it kind of fell flat. I think there's too many things going on you got to keep track of.
Also, just to let you know, if you didn't already know, the second half only was released later because the CGI wasn't ready. No other reason. So, also, there are supposed more bats were added in later, the ones that were chasing Eddie, than if you were to watch it when it first came out. So, like, they were really rushing it, very similar to Marvel. And it brings me to my point of, are we just doing too much? Like, up
Yeah.
the ante per thing at this point?
I don't know what the rush helps at all. If you like have like a deadline or whatever, I feel like you just like have to naturally build it.
It feels unnecessary after a while. Like,
Yeah.
each ending, I'm not going to lie to you, each ending of Stranger Things gets annoying to me after a while. Season 1 is beautifully quaint. Season 2, I don't even remember. What is Season 2? Is it them a dog?
I think isn't it them sitting on that hill, or was that season 3?
3's the mall.
Oh, that's
She
right.
loses her powers and Billy dies. don't remember season 2.
Season 2, she closed like the gap or whatever.
That's 3. That's 3. No, that's 3. That's when Hopper dies.
You sure?
3's long.
No, it's because I definitely remember
You
season
mean when
2.
she had black hair?
Yeah.
No, that's 3.
When she went goth and like went on that side journey? That was season 2.
I thought she sealed the fucking thing up in 4 or in 3.
No, there was like some type of like explosion thing. I don't remember.
How did Hopper die?
There was like an explosion at the lab. They're trying to close a gate or something.
I guess then yeah, that's 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, she went all emo and went on her side quest for 18 seconds. Okay, yeah, you're right. All right. So, what were the highs and what were the lows of the season?
Let's see. I enjoyed 11's thing. I enjoyed the Nancy and I think Maya Hawk's character's name is Robin, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed their little side adventure they went on. All of the horror elements were really cool.
Horror elements were spectacular.
They went fucking scary with this one.
All the 80s veteran actors were nice. It was nice to see Robert Englund get pulled out, especially when you just copy Nightmare on Elm Street in your first episode blatantly more than any other thing I've ever seen ever in my fucking life, even worse than the remake. But I loved it.
Yeah.
Not to say I didn't, but it was just Tina's scene in the 1984 Nightmare on Elm Street, but in a different thing. It was good. Also, they copied Watchmen.
Also,
They use the exact same Watchmen music when the person's talking about their elaborate life. The 50s, like Dr. Manhattan's scene music is used when Vecna describes his life, and I was like, this is just Dr. Manhattan's scene.
also the fact that Vecna is practical.
Vecna's
is
practical
amazing.
effects are incredible. Absolutely spectacular, and the fact that we're getting practical effects like that does prove that we can get what we can get.
The same people who created Vecna also worked on Chernobyl, the HBO miniseries.
Never watched it, actually. Was it good?
Oh my god, it's horrifying.
Really?
It is horrifying. There's this literally a scene where like these men have to go into the reactor and all you hear is Geiger counters go like louder and louder and louder, and it's like it's stressful if you like don't like radiation and all that shit, but like they did the special effects they did was like they made realistic makeup of what your skin looks like when you're being exposed to radiation. So it was like skin falling off the bone, big like balls of pus all everywhere. It's nasty.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
that's awesome. So no, like you can do practical effects quite well. And that's the one thing I think that goes in tandem with Marvel and Disney not doing it, not using it
It's lazy.
sparingly. It's extremely lazy, and it's extremely weird how they use them backwards. Like Skrulls should have been CG. And then you could have then used the practical effects on like, I don't know, costumes like for fucking Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Instead of them be constantly CGI. I don't know. Wireworks still does work. I don't know if you know this, but like Wireworks still does fucking work.
They still use it.
And it can work well. But yeah, so Stranger Things was extremely well. I'll say I didn't like Lucas's change all that much. I thought it was really funny and weird to just try to give the black kid a character arc by making him play basketball. I was like, Jesus fucking Christ.
White people don't know what to write about niggas. It's
And then
like,
the prior season, his sister's just the sassy one.
we really give him an arc. He's gonna win that basketball, y'all.
He's going to win a basketball game, and then he's going to regret it and go back with his white friends. All right. This is a really fun season for Lucas.
I like the whole satanic panic thing. I did like.
I did too. I also, as a Metallica lover, I was happy to see Master of Puppets get played. Yo, Metallica fans, real quick, cool the fuck down. We're becoming gatekeepers out of nowhere.
Oh, no.
We're like, you didn't know about Master of Puppets before Stranger Things. It's like, shut the fuck up. It's a song from 1986 when the show is based in.
Yeah.
Like, let it happen. And then outside of that, it's like fucking almost 40 years old.
Speaking of music, good old Kate Bush.
Good old Kate Bush.
I've never heard of her before this show.
So I have been a large Kate Bush fan ever since. Shout out to Dunkey, video game Dunkey. If none of you have ever heard of him, you know, it's kind of sad, but you should give him a watch. He showed his favorite songs and was fucking around and showed Babushka, and I was like, I love this. I love this song a lot. And as soon as they played Running Up That Hill, I was like, oh, wow, that's Kate Bush. And it makes me happy to see the recognition of these people and their talent. And Kate Bush doesn't say a lot or do a lot of publicity stuff, but she even made a message on her website about how lovely it is to see this song get the attention. And I was like, that's really dope. So it's a good show. I'm happy.
You know, Kate Bush and all that shit. I know you like, I like to clown you, so you like to put death in all your stories and shit, but I feel like after what happened to Max, goddamn, you should have killed that.
No, and that's what I mean. Like, you hear me talking about all this death. Somebody needs to die.
If Hopper wasn't permanent, Max should have definitely died, because why did you just make her like
There's a grand plan.
Yeah.
That's all.
But she's blind. Her soul ain't really there no more. She all fucked up.
5-year time jump. It's 1986. It'll be 1991. That means we're going to get Nirvana. That means we're going to maybe get One by Metallica, because that's 1987. Which is literally about a person being trapped inside of their body, and she is literally trapped inside of her body. So I was like, oh, I see the writing on the walls for the future. But 5 years in the future, there's a lot of potential. But have you heard the theorem of Vecna is not the strongest in D&D, right?
I don't know the characters.
Okay, so everything is D&D. All the names, all the everything. So the strongest one is a dragon. And the dragon we've seen in Will's art.
Oh, shit.
And he's going to say that
so it's basically Cthulhu type.
what's
shit.
his name?
What?
The other one, Finn Wolfhard's character.
Oh, Mike.
So Mike is the heart, they say, but it's gonna be Will, and Will's gonna die, and I am so excited. I just hope. I hope that he dies. Like
they gave him an interesting thing. I don't know if it was an arc. I don't know really what it was. But
being gay is not an arc. I mean, being gay.
There were strong hints of that.
Hints. Fuck you, hints. Hit by a fucking Mack truck 16-wheeler, hints.
Unless you like live under a rock, yeah, you wouldn't have picked up on that.
Unless you're like, yeah, come on. But it's, I enjoyed it. I really like the scene where him and his older brother like have that moment of like just having each other. So there are really good parts of this show. Then there's the season finale.
Which went on
and on and on and on and on and on and on and on. Holy shit.
I don't really like the whole Russian side plot, if I'm being honest.
As I said, Hopper should have died. We should have never went to Russia. It should have stayed within the U.S. and we just cracked down on the U.S. hidden Russians because it's the 80s.
You know what really weirded me out? It's like you think killing the random Demogorgon and Demagogues there is going to help 11 somehow, even though there's like a hive mind. I don't think...
Hopper holds a Demodog with his bare hands, and that was the moment I checked out. I looked at Ava and I was like, nope, I'm good. I was like, that's really fucking stupid.
I thought we were gonna like eventually get out, but they stayed there the whole time. I was like, I'm tired of this.
Yeah, like it got old. And why was Conan the Barbarian sword there? You've noticed that, right?
Yeah, I don't know where that came from. I didn't know where
you
the sword
noticed
came
that
from.
That was literally that's no joke. The 1982 Crom sword from fucking Conan. So it must have been an Easter egg. Like, I knew it enough that I was like, why is he holding that?
I don't even know who had the sword. Like, I don't know where that came from.
Why does he have the sword from Conan? Like,
That
it
too.
upset the fuck out of me. I got it. He chopped the thing's head off, and that's what Conan does in the end of the movie. But I was like, what the fuck is it doing in Russia?
Who knows?
Did he steal it?
I don't know where it came from. He literally pulled it out of the ether and just was like, I have a sword.
Unless, like, Russian dudes stole it. Yeah, no. Was not a fan of that. But
No.
the ending, it has the Return of the King syndrome of having way too many endings.
Because first, I think it was more of like the characters being reunited and that whole thing, which was really touching, honestly.
It was 11 and Hopper's scene actually got a few tears out of me. I'm not going to lie to you. I liked Argyle.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the fact that they did it in the pizza place. I did like all of that. I liked when Mike was talking to 11.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the ending, and then it kept going.
And then you got
Keep going.
the earthquake, and then them coming back. and then what else happened? Max, and then they're in the hospital.
And then we're done. And then now we have a 5-year time gap. Which
does that just mean it's gonna turn like the upside down? Because at the end they hinted like that it was like white flakes. That has to cause some kind of cancer or something. Like, they can't just keep breathing that shit. And like every time they go into the upside down, that's like my first thought. Like all that shit floating in the air, I'm like, ugh.
asbestos.
Like I feel my nose getting stuffed up every time I watch that shit. I'm like, yo,
You
is
got
this like?
asbestos. It's 1986.
Oh my god, this is the origins of mesothelioma.
Oh my fucking god. This is how we actually got HIV. This is the origins of HIV.
Here it is, ladies and gentlemen.
There we go.
Stranger Things does.
And boom goes the dynamite. Well, yeah, so in all, what would you rate this show and what would you rate our movie that we've seen?
The show for season 4, I'll give it a nice 8. For Thor, like I said, I liked it for what it was, but what it was wasn't much. So 6.
I give Stranger Things also an 8. I think I'll go with a cool 8, and then Thor is a cool 5 for me. So, melding over, but hopefully
things will get better.
Things will get better.
I'm watching Nope sometime next week.
Nope will be fun. I think I'm going to end up seeing it with you. You've all heard me bitch about fucking Jordan Peele enough. Bottom line, I just think that his movies aren't horror. They should be psychological thrillers. But everybody,
I can't wait for episodes coming up because I cannot wait to do that.
I cannot wait.
And Michael Bay marathon. We're going to torture ourselves, y'all.
Just to let you all know, we are doing a Michael Bay and Zack Snyder marathon back to back, but not this weekend because this weekend was my motherfucking birthday.
Happy birthday to Stark Nizzle Bianco.
Thank you all.
21 years on this earth.
21 years on this planet, y'all. Just wanted to let you know, thanks for all the love, thanks for all the support, and know we have plenty of great content coming soon. And lots of nice things will be coming your way. We are going to take a little trip over to Philly. And when we're there, we might be recording just something slight. Slight, see what we could do. But we will get back to you on that. And thank you all for listening. It means a lot. I'm Stark.
I'm Darnell.
And this is the No Room for Improvement podcast, signing off.
See y'all.
Whoop.